All right, today's gospel reading is going to be from Luke chapter 4, verses 16 through 22, which will be going right along with what we've been doing the past few days on gospel reading. And as always, I'll be doing the explanation according to the Blessed Theophylact, an archbishop from the 11th century from the Ohrid region of Bulgaria. These books are awesome. You should definitely get them. I know I said that I would talk about that in a later video. I still need to do that. So here we go. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up to read. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, on account of which he hath anointed me. He hath sent me to bring good tidings to the poor, and heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim deliverance to the captives, and recovering sight to the blind, and to set at liberty them that are bruised, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord. And then he closed the book, and he gave it again to the attendant, and sat down. And the eyes of all of them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him. And he began to say unto them, This is the day. This day is this scripture fulfilled in your ears. And all bore witness to him, and marveled at the words of grace which had proceeded out of his mouth. And so the explanation here, the Lord wished to reveal himself to the Israelites and to show that he was anointed by God the Father to save all those under heaven. Even the way in which he reveals himself, he arranged in a wondrous manner. Before anyone else, he first revealed himself to the people of Nazareth, among whom he had been raised. Thus, he teaches us that we should first work to teach and bring benefit to those of our own circle, before lavishing kindness on others. When he had been given the book, he opened it, not at random, but to the very passage he wanted to find. Do not think that he opened the book and by chance found this passage in which was written these things concerning himself. Rather, it happened as he willed. What was written there? The Spirit of the Lord hath anointed me. That is, he has consecrated me. The Spirit has established me to bring good tidings to the poor, that is, to the Gentiles, who have neither the law nor the prophets, and who are therefore in great poverty indeed. The brokenhearted perhaps means those Israelites whose hearts were at first great and exalted, being the dwelling place of God, but later, after they turned to idolatry and committed many sins, their hearts were broken and crushed and ceased to be the dwelling place of God, and became instead a den of thieves. Therefore the Lord came to save even such as these, and to grant deliverance to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, both Gentile and Jew. Both were prisoners of Satan, and both were blind. These things can also be understood to refer to the dead, for they too are captives and bruised, but they have been set free from the power of Hades by the resurrection of the Lord. And he proclaimed the acceptable year. What was the acceptable year? Perhaps it was the age to come, concerning which the Lord preached, saying, In that day ye shall ask me nothing. As he said in John 16:23. And again, the hour is coming when the dead shall rise again. Again, see in John chapter 5, verse 24, 28, and 29. That year is acceptable. That is, it is the desired and beloved by the righteous, and it is the time much awaited by all who labor here. The Greek word translated here as acceptable, dektos, which comes from the verb dechomai, to accept with favor, with a prefix added, the verb prosdechomai, I'm probably mispronouncing that word, but it means to expect, to await. Blessed Theophylact uses this verb to help explain the meaning of dektos. And the time when the Lord dwelt among us in the flesh is also the acceptable year, concerning the Apostle Paul. Says, Now is the accepted time. Behold, now is the day of salvation. As he says in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. If you see also in Isaiah 49, chapter 49, verse 8. When Jesus had read these things, he said, This day is this scripture fulfilled in your ears, openly presenting himself to those who listened, revealing that he himself was the one of whom these things were written.